When my father sent me the video via email, I experienced a sense of complete clarity. They were all there, my parents and my brother Thomas, sent around our last month of cooking in Phoenix, talking about me as if I were nothing more than a pasadillo. Arizona's native sun flowed through the ventanas, creating a cool glow that appeared as a fog of cold words. My mother spoke the words, "Lindsay solo nos ayuda porque nos duda," with disdain. Paying the immigrant is the least she can do after everything we have done. My brother Thomas presented me with a sonrisa necklace. Yes. Act as though you're doing us a great favor. Que broma. The worst thing was my father's silent nod of approval. The man who had helped me with my math work and shown me how to mount a bike was now gone, letting me romp, despite the fact that the video was clearly taken without their knowledge. Their words still came through clearly. I saw it 3 times, and each time I experienced a strange blend of darkness and light. During the last 4 years, I have been making enough payments for their immigration through my Divine LLC investments. Knowing they had paid a bank, they were sometimes concerned about the financial picture of the agreement my financial advisor helped arrange. They contributed a little each month while collecting the majority of the money and lamenting my meager help. My son Jason's message arrived immediately. "I'd like to see this. Lindsay." I couldn't ask for more. We had been speaking as such for months. She visited my home office, examined the cuadernos, and provided an explanation for each payment. Los Números weren't feeling well. It cost more than $200 to keep them comfortable in that house. My men ought to have been filming with a sense of urgency. But instead they were staying in firms until the immigration agreement was being finalized. My labios were touched by a little sonrisa as I was recording the purchase option clause that my financial advisor had insisted on including. "Only in a case," he said. I asked her whether she knew that anything like this might succeed while she was out of the way. For the first time, I knew exactly what I had to do. I made the next payment in 2 weeks. Send me a message on my phone and write a brief message to my son. "Thank you for demonstrating the truth. I'm not worried, and I won't tell you that I sent this. But things will change, even though they would never acknowledge it. I have always been the family's security network." About 4 years ago, when the housing market in Phoenix was in decline and many were on the verge of losing their homes, they made their entry. She is 27 years old. As a software development manager, I was successful in my career. Ironically, they never accepted my choice of career. They wanted me to take over my father's successful real estate business instead of me. "El software no es una carrera para una mujer," my mother said, her lips closed in disbelief. "The one who truly understands the business is your brother Thomas." However, in his 2 years as El's successor, Thomas nearly destroyed the family's friendship with his strong business sense. When they needed help with the property, I spoke with Kate, my financial advisor. We presented them with a creative solution. Establish an LLC, buy the house via it, and let them know that they are successful with a bank. This ensures your legal protection during the assistance process. In that moment, it seemed ideal. I could help without confronting his orgullo. The arrendamiento worked well. Divine Investments LLC became the owner of the investments, and I complemented their monthly payments without their knowledge. Keep your dignity intact, and I keep my family steady. The only person who knew the truth was my father Jason, who had heard Kate and I had discussed it at a family gathering. "You're very nice to them, Lindsay," he noted. "Tu amabilidad no merecen." Most likely, they are defended. They are protecting their family. Even if they don't always understand my choices, they have always given me a house. I realized how terrible it had been when I saw the video for the 3rd time. I can't stop thinking about those words. Numbers lo deba, que broma, lo menos que puede producir. We found each frame to be like a cuchillo. Opening deeper, gave me my computer and accomplished the LLC's goal. The following inmueble were made on the 15th. Just 2 weeks later. Never before had they arrived late, always sending their portion as timepieces. Now, however, knowing what was implied, I had no intention of covering the remainder this time. They will have to deal with the consequences of their disgrace. I'm sad that the bank will treat me the same way. They had no clue that her father, her daughter, and her iniquitous grief were actually her abogado. The thought gave me a shiver. Occasionally, the Carino needs a little push. There is no ending video. The next day, my brother Jason sent me further evidence. Pictures of family chat messages that have been excluded from the group. We have been creating these for 6 months and have appropriately named them Financias Familiares. People viewed each message as a more profound mystery than the previous one. Lindsay believes that his technological work is so unique. Thomas explained. While I am here every day running my father's business, Bastante barely helped with the alquiler. I received a fria as my mother's response. We need to give you more money. No, hijos. Ella es sola. Que más la gasta? No one can truly support their family after everything we have sacrificed for her. While calculating the sum, I provided my financial records. My hands trembled a little. In the last 4 years, he has contributed $267.843 to his alquiler through divine inversions, while they have only paid $52.157. They believe that their monthly bank payments of $1.100 were the majority of the alquiler. They didn't know that I would be adding $5.400 every month. My telephone rang. My mother sent me a message. Would you be interested in coming to see this Saturday? We need to talk about something significant. It was exactly what Sabia was. Planned to demand more money. Most often by emotional manipulation and a small amount of guilt. Such as platillos. The sentiments thoughts, which pretended not to know what they actually thought of me, caused my stomach to turn against me. I'd want to thank my financial advisor. Kate, I need to know my options with the purchase agreement. I felt like I could. She said, without seeming surprised. Do you recall the clause that we included? The divine inversions have the ability to immediately exercise the option to purchase if they lose a payment. El alquiler sería tuyo de forma directa y se transformaría en alquileres mis a mis. My mind started to create a strategy. ¿Y si el alquiler esta tarde? The regular Arizona eviction laws would be applicable. Estarías con tus requisiciones parametrales noticias. She paused. Lindsay, are you certain that you wish to go this route? I spent years of condescension as the family's ATM while I was being mobbed by my sister. While they applaud their business sense, I thought about Thomas carrying out our father's business on the beach. Snide's comments about my career, life choices, and obligations presumably influenced my thoughts. With a forceful voice, "Sí," is the response. Estoy segura, but I haven't written anything yet. Let them think that everything is normal now. I sent my mother a message. Presumably, I was at the scene. That really moved me, despite its irony. The heart emoji was essential. They had taught me well. Regardless of the circumstances, sometimes the best venganza requires the ideal appearance. The Mortadera's next payment was made in 13 days. And for the first time since this arrendamiento began, she wasn't going to be there to catch them when they fell. The Saturday scene was perceived as an exercise in control. The sun, which had been setting and painting the desert landscape in shades of naranja and azure, arrived precisely at 6 o'clock at his house in Phoenix. Technically, the house, or my house, looked just how it had during the previous 20 years. The familiar smell of my mother's lasagna floated by in the air. A calculated decision to document happier moments. Carino, Lindsay, with her designer bracelet in the light. My mother approached to embrace me. In particular, it was new and likely purchased with money meant for the Mortadella's 9-day payment. In his casual business attire, Tomas appeared more irritated than usual while cooking. Hermana, hello. It's beneficial for you to spend time with your family. Me sonrío, noting his message about me just to help me. If I only knew that his entire way of life depended on my generosity. Every time I have time for my family, I react, and the irony is gruesome in my throat. My father studied, and his lecture notes were found in his nose. I was going over some papers that I thought were bank declarations. The sight almost made me re-evaluate. They were carefully preparing their pitos. Before eating, my mother started by putting the lasagna on the table and asking if we could talk about anything significant. She glanced at my father, who clenched his teeth. Claro, I'm taking a break, I told him. ¿Qué pasa? Tomas clarified. As you are aware, My father's business has been facing some challenges. The real estate market has changed. I took a piece of lasagna and ate it slowly. Even though the Phoenix market was more competitive than ever, the business has been facing difficulties since Tomas took over. We were thinking about why we were fortunate to have such a successful daughter. And my mother continued to talk to me about it while approaching me through the table. Both your father and I have made sacrifices in order to provide you with a quality education. I'm impressed by his performance with fresh clarity. We also carefully choreographed the Lento Tuk, which commemorates their sacrifices. The tax payment has become a significant challenge, my father added, with that special tone of paternal authority that he always used to make me feel small. I am working in the field of software development. Software development. They automatically corrected it, but they were never concerned about understanding the difference. Cierto. The response grew weaker. Well, we thought you would be able to help more with the monthly payments. After all, this is also your family's home. If only you knew how much of it was me. We are only asking for an additional $2 each month. We quickly included my mother. Taking into account your salary, the amount is not significant. I made another lasagna pedazo, using the time to keep my composition intact. They wanted an additional $2 when they knew that you had already paid more than $5. The audacity was rather impressive. Pensare en ello. Last but not least, dije con mi voz neutra. The times are a little uncertain right now. Insertos? Tomas fell asleep. We all know you're doing well. So please, despite the fact that some of us are actively working hard to preserve this family's legacy, we still need your support. Take into account the notification that their bank will receive when they make their payment next week. Sonrei. Tomas, you have a point. Sometimes, we all get exactly what we want. After the movie, I was discouraged to use the baño. But I got back to you through my father's study. The door was open, and I could hear my parents and Tomas talking in agitated voices. I paused as my heart raced at the sound of their words. Ella is not going to help. Con su voz dura, Tomas said. Could you tell me how you were feeling? Are they exploiting their technological superiority at a time when our business is thriving? Patience, my father said. We have another choice. Remember those documents you found in their storage when you used our Wi-Fi a month ago? He has placed our money in a company called Divine Investments. My mother passed away. During my final visit, they came to my files. I used their Wi-Fi carelessly without a VPN, and my cloud storage automatically stopped working. La Mire, my father said. It is a legitimate LLC that is doing quite well. Instead of helping his family, he has been stealing money. He raised an eyebrow. The voice of my mother, Crito, gives us another chance to help voluntarily. If not, I will document that time in school when they took money from your business account to pay for their tutoring. Ella believed that we didn't know. But we did. She will be able to assist us in the future. I had to pick up my book so I wouldn't be resigned. What currency were they talking about? With my father's approval, I borrowed his check for my tuition. In addition, he had paid for it with interest in a month. There were emails that said everything. His attempt at extortion was so blatantly obvious. And if that doesn't work, we can always go to the company's human resources department. Tomas said. Send us some questions about it. Mental instability. Could you please suggest that it has been stealing company resources for personal projects? This would draw their attention. The casual tone in which they discussed ruining my career sent me into a state of panic. These individuals were not family. They were paralyzed with family mascarillas. Veleta al baño. Dice el baño para el show. And then returned to the room. A few moments later, they all returned with practice-related sighs. Linda, sweetheart, my mother said, has a clue about what we're talking about. About helping more with the alquileria? I am aware of your Lenta. I am aware of your situation. You have a reason. The family must support the family. I will respond to you within 8 days. The time is not random. She knew exactly what would happen when she died. And her alquileria ended in 8 days. Finally, Divine Investments will reveal their true nature. Ocho días? Asusto Thomas. Why did a timeline stop me from getting my bag? I only need to check a few things with my financial advisor. Good day, Verdad? Taking good care of the money is only good business sense. I would want to listen to Thomas's favorite phrase. My mother guided me to the port, where I received a thoughtful greeting. Querida, we hope you understand. The family always comes first. See. I agree. Considering the eviction notice that has already been signed, the family always gets exactly what they want. I called my father Jason when I was at home. Good luck with them. Let me know when you answer. However, don't worry about it. I'm ready to be the silent partner in his little drama. It's time for the last act. The week ended with excruciating length. My family continued their pressure campaign, sending daily messages about their financial situation. Each message strengthened my resolve. I sent everything to Kate, my financial advisor, who would help me be ready for the impending confrontation. The paper is ready. Kate confirmed the payment 3 days prior to our reunion. Once the payment has been made, the Divine Inversions can immediately execute their purchase option. He also prepared the eviction notices. If applicable, Lore is editing the documents. Are you certain that everything is legitimate? No es possible versus esto? Kate assured me that they signed the agreement 4 years ago. Your father stopped teaching it. I was a little surprised by the abuse. Everything is perfectly legal. My brother launched his own attack this evening. Hermana. Hello. I read your text. I was talking to my friend about technology recovery. I've seen that several companies are doing layoffs. I need to be your asustador. It's wonderful that you have family at the airport. Having said that, we were discussing this assistance. The attempted manipulation was so obvious that it was almost hilarious. The next day, I showed my son, Jason, the message regarding the cafe. Nunca cambian. They were shaking their heads. He said, we did this for everyone in the family. You and I because of this. We have been apart for years. Did you know that they went through my archives when you visited? La Pregante. No one was surprised. They did the same to your brother when he passed away last year. They're always looking to relocate. He paused. Are you available for the relocation? You're not going to do so well. They threatened to notify my company's human resources department. They had plans to use blackmail. And they wanted to help me while I was away from home. I'm listo. They made their choice. We will now face the consequences. My mother called 2 days before the relocation was approved. Lindsay, we need your response on the relocation. The family has to get together since time is precious. Ma'am. Respondi. Mi vos estética. No te preocupes. Everything will be clear very soon. I received an email from the family's bank this evening. They attempted to transfer funds from their account to Divine Investments. But the payment was unsuccessful. They are atrasados. I sent Kate the notification. Aquí vamos, he said. Do you want to start the procedures tomorrow? I thought of the lasagna scene. Their faces. And their casual conversation about ruining my career. Think about the years of manipulation. The never-ending demands. And the unending shame. Respondi. No. We'll hold off until we officially receive the payment. Let's enjoy the next 2 days while believing everything is okay. They taught me well. The time is all. I grabbed my computer and began sending an email to the company's human resources department, detailing the threats posed by my family and including the evidence that my son Jason had collected. It's better than moving forward with their potential attacks. The conclusion was imminent, and I refused to surrender any opportunity. Sometimes, I told myself that the best revenge is just to let others deal with the fallout from their own actions. The payment period arrived and ended. Divine Investments' automatic system sent out its default notice at 9 o'clock. I will be calculating the seconds till the term, unavoidable, appears on my phone. It took precisely 12 minutes. Lindsay, my mother's voice was hysterical. Something is wrong with our immigration policy. The bank is claiming that we have defaulted. But that is not possible. We need your help now. As a result, I calmly said, Divine Investments is not a bank. It's an LLC. I was specifically referring to my LLC. On the opposite side, silence was resonating. What? At last, she gritted. Please check your email. You will get a notification stating that Divine Investments is exercising its right to purchase due to your default. The house is now legally mine. Your status has changed to tenants from month to month. Esto grito. Esto es una broma. No es una broma. He was paying for the majority of your immigration for 4 years while all of you were threatening me with my career. Calling me a thorn in my side. And threatening to blackmail me. How did you do it? Jason, my son, showed me the video. Jason showed me the entire video. Now, let's discuss your tenure. 30 days is your first alquiler payment. We recommend that you seek a new residence. My father's voice broke forth in repentance. They put me in the microphone. Thank you. Cuidado. Lo corte. Is that a way to talk to your partner? You can find the eviction notice. You can't serve me later than planned. I ended the call and blocked their numbers. In the meantime, my email started receiving messages from volunteers, family members, and friends who said that I was being unkind and that the family should forgive me. All the deletions have been made without letting them go. Perdón cannot pay off certain debts. After 3 months, I stayed in the vacation home, making my way through the vacation rooms. My family finally had to move out of the city and into an apartment last week. Despite facing threats, guilt trips, and legal obstacles, they ultimately sealed the documents. They had no choice but to accept reality. Thomas's attempt to get in touch with my HR colleague was a stunning failure. Their accusations immediately subsided thanks to my preemptive documentation and my son Jason's evidence. Instead, I reported their actions to his court, sparking an ethical investigation that effectively ended his career. A tearful voicemail was Mi Madre's last effort at manipulation. How could you harm your own family in this way? The solution was straightforward. I had finally come to believe them after they had demonstrated to me what family meant to them. They had gathered around the table, calling me useless as I paid their bills. And I strolled through the kitchen where it all began. I didn't miss the irony. Later, Uncle Jason and his spouse would visit to assist me in getting the house ready for sale. We would use the raised money to start a foundation that would assist those who have suffered financial abuse. This could turn out to be beneficial after all. Kate texted me, and my phone buzzed. Their lawyer just called. At last, they are signing the final documents. It's truly over. I grinned as I took one final glance around the deserted house. Family always comes first. They had taught me, but they had never mentioned whose family. For the first time in years, it felt natural to choose myself.